What if I told you the USDA just quietly finalized a rule that could hand row crop farmers an extra $40 an acre, with zero changes to what they're already doing? No new equipment, no new seed, just paperwork and data. Stick around because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what this rule is, how it works, and whether you can cash in. In late June 2026, USDA rolled out an updated version of its Feedstock Carbon Intensity Calculator, or FD-CIC for short. This tool measures how clean your corn, soybeans, sorghum, or spring canola actually is, based on practices like cover crops, reduced tillage, no-till, and smarter nutrient management. And here's why that matters. This calculator is the missing piece for farmers trying to cash in on the 45Z Clean Fuel Production Tax Credit. 45Z is a federal tax credit, up to $1 a gallon, that rewards biofuel producers like ethanol and biodiesel plants for making lower carbon fuel. It was created under the Inflation Reduction Act and expanded by the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. But here's the catch. The credit goes to the fuel plant, not directly to the farmer. So the big question has always been, how does a farmer prove their crop actually lowered the carbon score, and how much of that value trickles down to them? That's exactly what this new USDA calculator is designed to answer. According to Iowa farmer and Continuum AG founder Mitchell Ora, here's the math. For every 5 points you lower your crop's carbon intensity score, that's worth about 10 cents a gallon to the ethanol plant, or roughly 30 cents a bushel. Translate that to the acre, and Ora estimates that's about $40 an acre with no change in practice required, just proof of what you're already doing. And for farmers who go further, deeper conservation tillage, better nutrient timing, that number can climb closer to $100 an acre, depending on your local ethanol plant's contract terms. This isn't theoretical. North Dakota farmer Mike Appert says his local ethanol plant was one of the first in the country to capture and store carbon on-site. Because his region sits above the right geological formation, they could sequester emissions locally and sell into demand from California and the West Coast, where buyers specifically wanted low-carbon fuel. The result? Appert says they added roughly $1 a bushel in value for corn. That's the kind of upside this new calculator is trying to unlock nationwide. So why isn't every farmer already doing this? 2 words: data and relationships. This program runs on what's called mass balance, not book and claim. In plain English, you can't just sell your crop anywhere and separately sell your carbon data. Your physical crop has to go directly into the biofuel supply chain, straight to the ethanol plant, the crusher, or an elevator that delivers to one. On top of that, your carbon intensity score needs third-party verification, similar to how Ora's company, Continuum AG, operates. That means record keeping on your tillage, your cover crops, your fertilizer program, and a direct line to a biofuel buyer who wants that data. Now, before you get too excited, this isn't fully locked in yet. USDA has finalized its technical guidelines, but the IRS and the Department of Energy still have steps to take before this flows cleanly into the 45Z credit calculation through the GREET model. The IRS has signaled it intends to use USDA's rules, which is a big deal, but the exact dollar-for-dollar value a farmer sees will still depend on their local ethanol plant and how much of that tax credit value the plant chooses to share. So what's the actual next step if you're a corn, soybean, sorghum, or canola grower? 1. Find out if your local ethanol plant or elevator is already participating in a low-carbon fuel program. 2. Start tracking your conservation practices now, even informally, because verification is going to want documentation. And 3. Reach out to a certified carbon intensity verifier like Continuum AG to get a baseline CI score on your operation. The earlier you're in the system, the earlier you can capture this value once the IRS finalizes the last piece. This is one of the biggest quiet wins coming out of USDA this year, and most farmers haven't even heard about it yet. If this video helped, hit subscribe so you don't miss the follow-up once the IRS finalizes its side of the rule, because that's when the real payouts start. Drop a comment if your ethanol plant already pays a carbon premium. I want to hear what you're seeing in your area. See you in the next one.